This is in class 21. It's page 7 in your packet. It's just a little bit of an extra practice sheet for us to do in class today so that we can practice this idea before we actually start putting it into a proof format. So what you do for each one is you figure out if they are congruent. If they're not, you're going to cross it out. Just so you have an idea, there's one that is not congruent triangles in each row, just so you can have the confidence to know that you are doing the problems correctly. So we're going to go kind of across the first row and do a few problems together until you feel comfortable to kind of go out on your own. All right. So the first one says A is the midpoint of BE. So what I'm going to do is highlight the segment B to E. Okay. And I'm going to put tick marks on those segments. So A is the midpoint, so A breaks this into two congruent pieces. So I was able to make those markings by definition of a midpoint. I don't need an additional reason in this blank because I already have 3 things in each triangle. So I'm going to cover that up. And you've got a side, and an angle marking. The question is that angle marking where the 2 sides come together? Yes. So that would be side, angle, side. And then we do our congruency statement. When you do the congruency statement, you kind of match up what's already been done with this triangle with your other triangle. So on my first triangle, I started at the letter C. So C is this one. D and C are the 2 that match up. So I'm going to start with the letter D over here. That is not an A. It kind of looks like an A. My triangle symbol. So we've got D. So here I went C to B. So here I'm going to go D to A. Then on my first triangle, I go C to B and then down to A. So my second triangle is going to be D, A, and down to E. Okay, I'll move over to the second one in the row, which is letter A. So for this one, there has no given information. So there's no definition of. There's no def of midpoint or definition of bisect or definition of isosceles. So I can't do that. Then after you kind of cross out your definition ofs, you look for vertical or reflexive. This also does not have any vertical or reflexive. So my 2 markings is actually not enough. So this one is not possible. So it says to cross out the letter. It's only for like the joke at the bottom. But so that one's not possible. And then we go over to L. Okay, there's no given information here again, so then I revert back to my reflexive or my vertical. So reflexive is this one here, the one in the middle, and because I made that marking, I have to state that I used the reflexive property. Because I want to use that right angle as a congruent angle, I do have to use the right angles theorem. And my criteria would be angle, the side is in between, and then angle. Let's finish up my triangle congruency statement. Okay, so on the first triangle, they went E to H. So they went from this outside one, E to H. So I'm going to go G to H, and then over to F. Okay, so there's 9 more problems at the rest of the page. So that is our homework.